right out here. LAPD right behind him there. I'm going to try to work with our pilot. We need to stay right with this guy because at these slower speeds, they might try to bring this to an end very quickly. Again, you can see him just moving out again, getting a little bit more speed. And again, LAPD in pursuit. We're on Lexington. Look at that. Look at that. That guy had to get out of the way of the officers and that vehicle. Again, you know, this is very, very dangerous stuff right now. They're on these tiny, tiny streets out here, approaching a major. I believe that's going to be La Brea, back through La Brea. You can see people there on the sidewalks actually running to take a look at what's going on. One of the traffic circles, that leads me to believe that we're already technically in the West Hollywood area. But again, you can see this vehicle keeping officers at bay. It looks like he's making another turn up to the north, again on these very tiny neighborhood streets out here in the West Hollywood area right now. And again, he's going to be approaching a major. And this is on, I believe he's on Hermosa. And we're coming up to another major. Look at that, people stopping, slamming on the brakes to get away from him. Now we're working our way eastbound again, major street, a lot of traffic. Whoops, sorry, I was looking out the window. And again, you know, they're keeping an eye on this guy. That officer right there, I believe is pit maneuver approved, but he's waiting for that moment. He cannot do it on these tiny streets. You don't want that car to spin out and crash into other people's vehicles. Again, kind of hanging out right here in this West Hollywood neighborhood. Speeds have slowed down, which is a plus, but these streets are very narrow. And again, not sure what this guy's plan is. Working his way southbound right now. He's going to go right underneath Sky 9. And again, we're going to be working our way back towards Santa Monica Boulevard to see if he takes one of those majors. But LAPD definitely in the pursuit. Stolen vehicle. They want this guy to stop.
Oh, they're getting just ever so close to him. Almost close enough to do it. And then he punches the gas again and blows through an intersection or a stop sign or a red light.
That's true. You know, it's so curious because when this pursuit started, in the initial pursuit, he was going down Highland, which is parallel to the 101 freeway south, and he or she didn't take that freeway. The driver didn't take any other freeway in Burbank when they were close to the 134. The driver has been staying on surface streets for this entire pursuit that started in North Hollywood. This is a stolen vehicle that police out of the North Hollywood division, LAPD's division, are chasing tonight. This went through Burbank, Universal City, Hollywood, and now here we are in West Hollywood.
Yeah, West Hollywood, working our way southbound. The next major is going to be Melrose. He could stay on these little tiny side streets pretty much for quite a distance. You can see these roads right there. They have those big bumps. They're not meant for high speeds. Saw that car kind of lunge right there, right up onto Melrose right now. We're going to see if he's going to make a turn. Melrose has got a lot of foot traffic out here, a lot of pedestrians out here on this road. But right now, I'm looking ahead again, and there seems to be wide open for this guy as he's working his way westbound along Melrose. And again, you see it really starting to open it up. Using these crazy high speeds, blew two red lights in the last couple seconds here. That one is green, but again, just trying to get away from officers and then coming up on a lot of traffic where he's going to have to push his way through here. Again, you can see this area has a lot of foot traffic, a lot of pedestrians in the area, and you know, officers have all this in mind, and especially when they go through those red lights like that one that he just did right there. You know, you got to think there might be some people out there walking across the street. And we're on another northbound residential neighborhood as we're working our way again. I believe this is still going to be the West Hollywood area, and it's going to be a residential neighborhood once again. He seems to like these neighborhoods. Don't know why. Maybe he's looking for a place to run.
Well,
but again, you can see him just keeping officers at bay.
It appears he doesn't have a clue where he's going. He's just turning where he can actually just be able to drive and continue this pursuit. Where is he now, Stu? He just turned again. Are you able to tell?
You know what? They're not calling off these smaller streets right now. They're actually they're having a little issue with them as well, probably because we're in the West Hollywood area. But we are definitely southbound once again, going to be coming back up on Melrose. But let me go a little bit wider. You can see officers working their way northbound on the street that he was on just moments ago, as these other officers are pushing their way southbound back towards Melrose. It's just a very interesting thing to see right there. And again, gives you an idea how many other officers are in the area, basically staying in the area just in case he does just decide to park this thing and run. These are residential neighborhoods. If he knows the area, then he can run between these houses. Maybe he knows where he's going. Blowing small stop signs out here as we're working our way southbound. I can tell you on the next small street, there's a little bit of traffic coming up. But again, you can see that there are other cars in the area, but that car is stopped there at the stop sign, as it should be, as these guys are working their way southbound. The next major, as we work our way south, is going to be Beverly, I believe. And again, you can see him just making his way down here very slow. Officers from LAPD definitely in pursuit. They want this guy to stop. That first unit right there, that's going to be a North Hollywood LAPD car. So he's been pretty much with it since the beginning. He wasn't in pursuit for some time because they were in tracking mode. That's something interesting to think about too. They were in tracking mode, but his erratic driving, they said, you know what, we got to bring this to a stop. And they reinitialized the pursuit. And again, now we are well down here almost in the Miracle Mile area as we're working our way southbound through these smaller streets.
It looks as though there's about 5 patrol cars when you pulled out wide earlier following this car right here. That doesn't include the other officers who are out trying to get ahead of this pursuit suspect. But it looks like about five patrol cars there. And am I hearing you're on Fairfax?
Yeah, no, we're in the Fairfax district is where we are right now. And yes, there's definitely 5, at least right behind him. But there are other officers in the area. There's other officers paralleling on other streets. There's other officers down on Wilshire Boulevard that are keeping up with this, and they're going to stay with it. And, you know, just in case he does stop and run so that other officers can set up that perimeter very quickly and get this guy trapped. But again, he's working his way southbound out here, coming up to another major intersection, and I believe this is going to be 3rd Street as we make a turn on 3rd Street, and definitely in the Fairfax area. Again, we're going to be we're going back. We're going to be going right by Farmers Market out here. The Grove first and then Farmers Market. But again, a very busy area right now, I can tell you. And there's another one of those officers we've been talking about, 2 of them. They're just kind of paralleling, keeping an eye on this, just in this case this guy does run or they need to set up a perimeter very quickly. His speed's right now a little bit more normal, but still, keeping away from the officers. Westbound 3rd, and we're coming back up on Fairfax. You can see some people running across the street just trying to get out of the way. It does seem to be a solid red as he tries to join traffic here southbound Fairfax. Another area that's going to be very crowded out here, and a lot of foot traffic in this area right now. LAPD still in pursuit, stolen vehicle, and again, nobody's been injured so far. Been a couple of close calls, but again, you know, this guy just needs to stop and before somebody does get hurt.
That's right, Stu. You know, one thing we always have to remember with these pursuits is that the LAPD or any agency, chasing these drivers, they have to keep safety as their number one in mind, because obviously you have the pedestrians out there, the public at large, we have the officers in pursuit, and you also have this driver who could cause, some sort of harm, as Stu was mentioning, to pedestrians out there or the public at large. So they want to keep their distance. At some points you can see they get a little closer, but on surface streets is usually where we see the pit maneuvers being performed, but we haven't seen that yet. Obviously, at high rates of speed, that's not a safe thing to do for officers, as well as on those small, narrow streets of West Hollywood. Certainly not possible.
He is really picking up his speed too, Stu. When we just saw him blow through that last intersection, he went around another car that looked like it had the right of way, went around that, and is continuing this pursuit. He was in the area where the Grove is, which is
trying to get the name of the street,
which is pretty frightening because it's the Grove is decorated for Christmas, and a lot of people are out there doing their Christmas shopping and dining and whatever else they're doing out there. So a lot of pedestrian traffic out there too.
Oops, sorry.
Let's just hope this guy doesn't injure anyone in the process of this pursuit. But the facts here, LAPD tells us this is a stolen vehicle. This pursuit started out of Hollywood, North Hollywood. The pursuit started. At first, police officers were just following him, and now it has turned into a full-blown pursuit where this driver continues to lead the LAPD on a wild goose chase through the streets of, so far, North Hollywood, Universal City, off La Brea, Melrose area, Fairfax District, near the Grove. He's been all over, and police are continuing to follow closely behind, as closely as they can, while trying to keep this as safe as possible until they catch this driver.
That's right. We're going to go up to Stu Mendel for an update now. Stu, I know this is sort of behind buildings for a second here, but what else can you tell us?
Well, I can tell you that we're probably on 4th Street right now. That major that he was just on a few minutes ago, that was going to be 6th Street. It looks like we're going to be turning on La Brea, southbound La Brea. We were right in the Park La Brea area for a few minutes there, and you're right. You know, that was an excellent observation. It's like, look at him using the center divider again right now, not using those crazy high speeds that he's been using at earlier on, but it seems like whenever the officers start getting really close to him, he really opens it up, tries to get that distance. We're southbound La Brea right now, just past 6th Street, so we're going to be coming up on Wilshire here in a minute or two, or if that's not it right there. Again, Mid-Cities area right now. La Brea is a major street out here, and again, you can see officers from LAPD just kind of in pursuit of this guy right now, just staying behind him, trying to keep up with him. Again, lucky there hasn't been any injuries. We did see that crazy move earlier on where he used the sidewalk to get away from officers at one point. Again, we haven't seen many pedestrians, but look at this oncoming traffic right now on a turn on La Brea. Very dangerous move for sure. That light just turning red as they're working their way through it. This is that part of La Brea where it's very curvy. You got that big S curve up here. We're going to be actually approaching Wilshire Station. Is going to be we're going to be passing here in just a few moments. Wilshire Station for LAPD. Again, this guy really starting to move out again, trying to keep this distance. It's amazing how empty these roads are, especially for Christmas time, and you know just having no traffic out here at this time of night is just amazing. Officers from LAPD very lucky about that. Some of these guys stopped as they probably heard the sirens coming right there. Some civilians just stayed in their spot. Again, he's approaching a solid red out here. I'm not sure if that's going to be Venice or Pico, but it's going to be a major solid red up here. You can see everybody kind of slowing down, trying to get out of the way of officers. He's going to be making the turn, and it's Pico. So we're eastbound Pico right now from La Brea. And again, looking out the window using the camera, it is definitely a kind of wide.
All right, there they go. There they go, Stu. Almost got him.
They tried it. Almost got him right there. And again, that was the thing. You kind of saw that spot. There was nobody around, and that's what he's trying to do. Look at that. Look at that crazy move right there. Again, I'll get you the name of the street in a second. Look, getting into a parking lot right here. This might bring it to an end. There's no way he's got to know where this is going to end up, but he's got luck of the draws. Looks like he pops out onto another street out here. Again, though, this street has very little traffic on it. If LAPD can get up to him close enough, they might be able to sneak another pit maneuver. Again, though, looks like we're going to be moving northbound. And again, this guy just keeping LAPD at arm's reach. They want to bring this to an end safely. LAPD trained for this type of driving, trained to be in these type of situations. That guy, most likely not trained for any of this, and just creating a danger to the public at large. Again, I can tell you, I'm looking out ahead. You got a solid red, but no cars on the road. I'm going to keep an eye on that officer in case he tries to come up and do that pit maneuver. But again, westbound Venice right now is starting to pick up some speed again through the Mid-Cities area.
Hopefully they can close the gap a little bit more here if they get a little bit more open road, Stu, to try that pit maneuver one more time. But it's almost as if the driver is taunting them a little bit. He'll slow down just enough for them to get just ever so close, and then he'll speed up again. Not sure if that's really what he's doing, but it appears that way.
Well, if he does, this guy is really pushing it, and really, it's going to come to an end, and this guy is going to be in custody. Can almost guarantee that one. And again, it's just when, and hopefully with no injuries to anybody, even this guy. The LAPD, even though they're chasing him, they don't want to see this guy injured. They don't want to hurt this guy, and they definitely don't want to have any injuries to anybody on the roadway. Venice right now, this time of night, we're passing a couple other vehicles, but it is pretty much wide open out here this evening. And you're right, this guy is paying attention to where that officer is, because there's no way that was just dumb luck, that when he came up and just was starting to do that pit, he punched it and just got snaked out from underneath him right there. Again, you can see this guy, like you said, not quite, crazy high speeds, definitely faster than the speed limit. Coming up on a solid red out here, there is a lot of traffic moving to the south in front of him, and there's some cars here. See what he does. Hopefully there's no injuries. There you go. He just went through it. again, very lucky. This guy's got a lot of luck on his side, but it's going to run out here very shortly, I'm sure.
And Stu, are we certain that there are no passengers inside this car right now, aside from the driver?
Here we go. The only thing we've heard so far is driver. Have not heard anything about any passengers. It is a darker car. The windows do seem to be tinted. I can't tell exactly if there's anybody. Whoa, look at that! Whoa! Oh, sorry. I thought there was traffic right there. They just went under the freeway. I'm sorry about that. Again, you can see him now still working his way. Venice looks like he's cutting through a parking lot right here, and it looks like we're going to be working our way westbound once again on La Cienega, westbound La Cienega. Sorry about that. That was a 10 freeway. I thought that. Oh, here we go. Looks like we're entering the freeway. This is going to be the first time we see him on the freeway. Again, though. We'll see what he does here when he gets on the freeway. Looking at it, again, he seems to be very lucky. There is no stop traffic. There's no heavy traffic. It is just light traffic this evening, and he's definitely getting on the 10 freeway eastbound, and it is picking up some speed out here.
Yeah, as you mentioned, Stu, this is the first time that we're seeing this pursuit on the freeway. Right now, still LAPD, as far as we know, in pursuit from the North Hollywood division. That's where this pursuit started, in North Hollywood, got into the city of Burbank shortly, and then into the city of Universal City, Hollywood, the Fairfax district, Mid-City, and now onto the 10 freeway, where this driver has obviously picked up speeds. But this has been a very dangerous pursuit. We started this near the top of the 8 o'clock hour, and it's been very dangerous just in the city of Hollywood alone.
Oh, yeah.
So many pedestrians out there. Pedestrians were running to get out of the way at one point because they obviously heard the sirens, cars pulling over, and this driver really getting lucky at some points. We're not sure if he or she actually knew the area that he or she was in, because they would actually get very lucky going into a driveway, and police still in pursuit, thinking maybe this might be over, maybe a dead end or something, but there he or she would go right outside the other side of the driveway, and got lucky twice that way. And also lucky that drivers were able to see this car coming and the sirens behind it.
And the surface streets seem so much more dangerous. There's a lot of stop and go traffic. There's traffic lights, lots of pedestrians. At times we have seen this driver weave in and out of traffic, drive on the center divider. At one point he drove on the sidewalk for a time. And I believe that was near the Grove area.
Yes, that's right.
He drove on the sidewalk. A few pedestrians have jumped out of his way. So clearly he doesn't have any regard for whoever or whatever's in his way.
Yeah, I mean, some of the busiest intersections you can possibly think of at this hour. Hollywood Boulevard right there, Highland and Hollywood, pass right through there.
Still westbound.
Also the Grove
10.
area and the Fairfax district, where there are tons of people obviously out shopping.
Staying on the 10.
It's still early in the evening. People are out walking their dogs, out and about, maybe jogging. And this driver was going, really fast through some of those
those residential areas.
neighborhoods. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, now he's on the 10 eastbound, and Stu Mandel is keeping a close eye. Or I'm sorry, west. He's going to the 10. He's on the 10 westbound.
Westbound. We are on 10 westbound. I got turned around there. I'm sorry about that. We are definitely 10 westbound. We just left the Palms area. We're just passing through the 405 right there. That's what we're seeing. And we are westbound 10 freeway. And this is going to take us into the Santa Monica area. Perhaps, he will get off before we get to the end over to Pacific Coast Highway. Again, though, you can see this guy really just kind of, doing a little better than freeway speeds, probably doing about 80 miles an hour. LAPD still in pursuit. They've got at least 4 vehicles behind him right now. That one that's been behind him from the beginning, still right behind him. And again, LAPD, they have a helicopter overhead. They're keeping track of all this. And again, this guy it's a stolen vehicle, and he's been endangering several other people's lives. Been doing a lot of little crazy maneuvers out there, keeping LAPD at bay. Right now, though, he's doing probably about 70 miles an hour, maybe 80, as we're passing other vehicles here on the freeway. The LAPD, they've got their lights and sirens on. Other people are basically slowing down a little bit because they don't know what's going on, and they're doing what we're told to do. You see lights and sirens, you move over. This guy right there, right now though, he's just keeping them at bay, moving along. We're definitely entering the Santa Monica area right now. Again, we all know that the 10 freeway basically dead ends into Pacific Coast Highway, which is a couple miles away. Not sure what this guy's plan is right now. It doesn't look like he's just going to pull over. Again, LAPD has about 4 vehicles, 4 of their units behind him right now as we got on the freeway for the first time this evening that we've seen in this pursuit that started in the North Hollywood area. Did a nice tour of a lot of the Hollywood area, went down south a little bit by the Grove and Park La Brea. Now we worked our way onto the freeway, and again, starting to pick up a little bit more speed again, and LAPD chasing this guy. They just want him to stop. Right now, I can tell you that they cannot use a pit maneuver, especially at freeway speeds. We did see him try a couple of times. We all had our fingers crossed, just want him to bump that bumper, but it's still... It never got that chance. He's westbound at 10 freeway. It looks like he's moving over a little bit. I'm not sure if he's going to get off on one of these off ramps. But again, they're actually, we know that LAPD is starting to talk to Santa Monica PD, telling them, hey, we got a pursuit coming your way. We're in your town. Just be advised. They might join in. They might shadow it. They might just follow along with them. But right now you can see him slowing down a little bit as we're getting very close to that tunnel that's going to take us on to Pacific Coast Highway.
Well,
He's got probably
Stu,
one more off-ramp.
Well, Stu, if he does make it to PCH, he might run into a little bit of trouble there because, as you know, with our recent rains, we've had some problems with mudslides and rocks, especially at the Las Posas and Yerba Buena area there. Right. So he eventually is going to run into some trouble should he make it to PCH and think he's going to lead them on a pursuit along PCH.
And we're all hoping that he or she doesn't get into this main Santa Monica area where, 3rd Street Promenade is. Obviously very busy night on any given night. Plenty of people, pedestrians walking out there. So we're just curious as to when this is going to end and hopefully come to an end soon.
Well, that's right, and the weather might actually play a big positive, like you said. If he gets into that rock slide, mudslide area, he might get stuck out there. He's definitely past the promenade right now. That doesn't mean that he can't take a turn and try to get back up into the Santa Monica area. Right now, though, we are northbound on Pacific Coast Highway, and again, you can see kind of slowing down. Not much traffic ahead of him right now. Not much traffic at all. And like you mentioned earlier, maybe he's taunting officers once again. Maybe he's like saying, come on, try to stop me. And then I'll just open it up. But right now, I can tell you we're moving our way along Pacific Coast Highway. And again, there's very little traffic ahead of us. It looks like he's coming up on a green light. So we'll see where he goes out here. But again, you're right. There are closures, but they're a little bit farther up. We're going to have to make a long trek to get there. He's going to have many opportunities, a lot of canyons to take too. He could take Sunset before that, or Topanga perhaps. But right now he's just, he's slowing down. He's really slowing down. Maybe it was for that light. Maybe he is taunting officers. Maybe he's running out of gas. But again, you can see this car still keeping officers at bay. We're definitely established Santa Monica. We're going to be getting into the Malibu area here shortly. You can see that officer creeping up just ever so slowly. Don't want him to kind of notice it. Just want to kind of get up there so he can do his thing. But this guy's slowing down right now. Maybe he's reading a map. Who knows? But again, still keeping officers at bay. Very light traffic. I see some fire trucks unrelated to this story heading the other direction. But again, just very light traffic as he keeps officers at bay out here.
Yeah, really curious as to where he's going to go next. As you mentioned, Stu, if he makes a right turn onto Sunset, that's going to take him into the Westwood area and then back into City area where there are a lot of pedestrians again. We've only seen one pit maneuver attempt this evening during this pursuit. And this might be another place that they might try to do it, Stu.
Well, we're hoping. We're hoping. We want to see this thing come to an end. He's got a BMW. We know that. It's a black BMW. Don't know what series it is, but it is a BMW. He might be thinking that he can take one of these canyon roads and keep these officers away from him, and maybe can give him some space. This is the first time we can actually see a little bit inside the car. You can make out that it does appear to be a male driver. I can't see the passenger side. identified, but it does appear to be a male driver, and just basically just driving along right now using that center lane. And, you know, I'm going to go a little bit wider here just real quick to give you guys an idea. He has like no traffic in front of him here on Pacific Coast Highway for some distance. And he does seem to be driving a lot slower than he has been, much slower than we've seen him earlier on. And again, officers from LAPD right there on his back. And you don't just want to bring it to an end. But again, you know, officers might not use that pit maneuver. This is a non-divided road. And if he spins out, he could go on to oncoming traffic. So that is probably something that these guys are trained to look for. Again, there is traffic coming the other direction. For him, though, it seems to be pretty open. And again, we're coming up on a major up here, and I believe it's going to be Sunset. But still keeping officers, Pacific Palisades. We're in the Pacific Palisades area, but definitely keeping officers at bay out here this evening.
And we want to welcome you now to KCAL 9 News at 9 as we continue to follow this breaking news. Police pursuit of a black BMW, a reported stolen vehicle, winding its way through Hollywood. And despite two pit maneuver attempts by the LAPD, this driver has managed to get away. And despite the holiday times, especially down by the Grove area where he was, this driver has managed to avoid much traffic at all and is continuing on this pursuit, which is now in the Pacific Palisades area.
You know, again, there is very little out here. There is that community that's going to be coming up over by the Neptune Net area, but that's still a little ways away, probably about a mile, mile and a half. Until then, though, there is no traffic on Pacific Coast Highway. There's no other vehicles on Pacific, probably because of that closure that we're coming closer to. And this guy just kind of keeps moving along here. Officers really, whoa, look at this one, look at this one. Look at this.
Whoa.
That was an interesting stop.
What happened?
And there he just kind of pulled up, didn't want to hit the car, and now all of a sudden that car can stop. Unclear what this guy's doing now. You know, we're going to keep it on, keep it as tight as we can here, see what this guy is doing. You can see, looks like his hands might be in the air. Definitely did come to a stop without the vehicle being touched. You can see a little damage there on the back where the other officer clipped his car earlier, but not enough to turn it around. These officers from LAPD, no joke. They've got their shotguns out and all their weapons pointed at that vehicle right now. Very tense moments probably for the officers more than that driver of that vehicle. Again, though, it just seems like he has his hands in the air and just stopped. That vehicle just stopped. That one officer really worked his way up close. Looked like he was going to tap that car, but then that BMW just came to a stop. Again, stolen vehicle is what they're calling this, is a stolen vehicle, so it's unusual that he would worry about damage. Doors opening up right now. You can see this guy starting to work his way out of that vehicle. This is as close as we can get as far as Sky 9's abilities right now. Seems to be a male. I can't tell anything other than that right now. Kind of nodding his head, maybe he's acknowledging commands, but officers from LAPD out here right now, you can see all of the ones that from the back work their way to the front. They're all around these vehicles. They have several weapons pointed at this car right now, and this guy very slow moving as he's responding to the commands from the officers. Again, though, has not gotten out of the vehicle totally. This is there he goes right now, slowly working his way out of that vehicle. Seems to be a bigger white male, and he's stumbling backwards. Perhaps he was intoxicated this whole time. That'll be all determined later. But again, just laying down, following commands here as this comes to an end. Past Decker Canyon, right before Las Posas, westbound Pacific Coast Highway. I don't know if we're still in Malibu. Could be just on the edge of Ventura.
On PCH, on the Ventura County, Malibu, Ventura and LA County line.
So, Stu, is this guy into custody yet, or is he still out there on the street, on the highway?
He is still out there on the pavement. I believe officers are going to relish every moment that they can of just kind of waiting to be taken into custody. You can see them making their move right now. Again, also, we don't know who else is in that vehicle. You can see that one officer checking the vehicle while the other officers are taking him into custody. It does seem that they are very concerned about that vehicle. They do not know if there's anybody else in there. Again, it does seem like there isn't. but they're going to check that trunk before they say that there is definitely nobody else in that vehicle. The driver, though, definitely has cuffs on him now. They're going to help that suspect up and bring him over to the vehicle. You have to excuse us. Very dark out here, so we're moving around to keep reference points for the helicopter. But again, you can see officers going textbook on this one. They don't know if that vehicle is cleared or not, so they're going to stay at that heightened alert until they know for sure that there is nobody else in that vehicle. Also, they're going to check that trunk. You know, that we've seen that so many times in the past. They're going to pop the trunk before they definitely lighten that heightened stance that they have right now. Checking that back door, because probably there's tinted windows, so they don't know who's in the back. That driver with the officers over there right now, there's probably going to be checked for items on him, get his ID and etc. They're going to start processing him, put him in the vehicle. Again, these officers right now, they're making their way, checking that, trying to open up that rear door just to make sure there's nobody in the back, and then they will check that trunk. But again, like you said, LA Ventura County line, if we're not at it, we're very close to it. And again, this pursuit came to an end unusually, as they looked like they attempted a pit maneuver, but the guy stopped before they were able to actually pull that maneuver off.
All right, once again,
we're getting exhaust, getting a lot of exhaust.
All right, Stu, thank you once again. A dangerous pursuit through the streets of Los Angeles and up into the Malibu area comes to an end. Several close calls, but no one is hurt, and the suspect right now taken into custody in Malibu.